In this video, we're learning how to spray waterborne base coat. Waterborne base coat consists of 70% water, 10% organic solvents, and 20% pigment, metallic, and pearlescent particles, while solvent-borne base coat consists of 85% organic solvents and 15% pigment, metallic, and pearlescent particles. Waterborne uses latex resin and produces cleaner vapors than solvent-based paints. After applying waterborne paint, the water evaporates, leaving the pigment particles to fuse together. Waterborne base coat is just as durable as solvent-based paint, but offers better color matching, increased depth, and a wider range of color.
Once you go in, we're going to do PS2 Chrysler color. So your quantity is going to go right here where it shows the flashing cursor. On this system, you've got to make sure that you add your reduction. We talked about in the classroom, there's different reductions for water that are available.
Will this be enough or do you need more?
That's fine. We can use that. So what you want to do is come in and enter. When you enter this, you've got to add the reductions after you add, but it includes the quantity. So say we want 60 ounces. Type in your 60. Just below that, there's a button that's called the minimum button. So the minimum amount you can correctly mix this color is 5 ounces, okay? Always check that, that's important, because if you're only mixing 2 ounces and the minimum's 5, you're not gonna have one of these toners is gonna be not correct amount to make that color match, right? So this color is 5 ounces. So we're going to do 60 altogether, including your reduction, right? So add your reduction. So there's 3 reductions that come up right now. There's T492, which is this additive right here. It's very sticky. We talked about what it does. That quantity never changes to the amount of color. But the amount of 494 water, where's his water? Should be a gallon jug of water somewhere, 494. Okay. So this is your water reducer. That's what can vary upon how much what you're spraying, if it's a solid or metallic. So the setup ones that are on here is a total of 25% reduction, which is 10 and 15. 10 and 20, which gives you a total of 30. That's what we're going to do on this. So 20% to 494 with a total, adding that reduction equaling 60 ounces. So then you're going to go to your mix session. A lot of shops track this amount to a specific repair order number, okay? I don't think we have it set up that way on here, so we just go from there. You got your total amount you want. You added your reduction. So it's got add job, so it is set up. We're just gonna hit skip on this one because this is where you would add your repair order number that is gonna log this to that repair order number. We don't care about that right now. So hit skip, put your can on the scale, hit continue. First toner up is 800, almost 800 parts of 474, which I don't know if we're gonna have enough of to do everybody's, but we'll supplement a different toner if we have to. It's not critical. It is if you're trying to match a car, but we're just doing this for demonstration purposes. These toners you don't want to vigorously shake. just give these things a couple of shakes. You don't need to aggressively shake it. You guys should try to wipe these lids when you're done pouring out of them. So you can, if you over pour or under pour, you can hit the skip button. Just be within a few pounds and you'll be close. So we'll go ahead and go into the booth.
At this point, we're adjusting our gun to make sure we have everything right so it sprays right. We have to adjust the airflow and the pattern and how much material the gun is letting out. After we adjust everything, we check on our spray out sheet to make sure the pattern is spraying right and the gun is also spraying. Wide open pattern, wide open material, right? Really takes it out.
everybody has one panel or two? Everybody, who has two panels? Anybody? You have two? Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to kind of spray a little bit here. That's a medium coat. The semi-wet, if you look, it kind of looks blotchy or like suede. So it's kind of wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. That's kind of what you want. You don't want, you never want to put on a dry coat. One, you're never going to get it covered. It's going to be full of dry spray. But we don't want to run it either. So we want our coats fairly moist. Okay? I'm going to have this off with number one who's here. Try to come across, up. You don't have to pull the trigger back like in these pockets in here, or you're probably going to run it. Maybe corner trigger it, pull it back about a quarter of the way in these tight areas. Up through here, it's fine, wide open, wide open. Our goal is to get this panel covered. We can't do anything else until it's covered. Blotchy, but we don't care about that at this point. We got to get coverage, right? So there's a point after the second coat, depending on how well this color covers. Will you guys do me a favor and grab 2 spray out cards, 3, 4, grab 4 spray out cards for this. Trying to pull the water out of the panel. This is the bad gauge. Okay? You listen to the air pressure. Was anybody paying attention? This one sounded a lot louder, huh? And they have a lot less blotchiness in their film. Theirs didn't go on as wet as yours did because this gauge is bad. So when this gauge, always look at the gauge without air hooked to it. And if that's not zeroed out, then throw it in the trash. It's no good. Look at that gauge. Have you touched your car? No. I could tell that something wasn't right? You guys have another gauge? Look at these. I usually put them in. I'll wait till the other guys get back. But what you want to do is you look at them. Now, that's if it's flashed off. You see all the blotchiness? That's coverage. That's not application. You're seeing the gray through. So it's always a good idea. Check it now, and then if it's flashed off and it's dry and you see that, you have to know what you're looking for, right? So normally it's going to be up under these edges. Always check around, but I usually shut it myself. But you can look at a color like that, you might not see it, right? Come down on it. See what I'm saying? Can't correct. See that? You can't correct blotchiness until you have coverage. Okay? You don't know what you're
After we sprayed our spray out car with 2 coats of coverage coat, we're spraying it with a control coat so we can see the difference between a coverage coat and a control.
smooth out, but you'll definitely see a difference in correcting metallic and metallic portions of metallic. You can see on this car, I say connect the dots and don't connect them. If you look real close, they're not connected. See in between the dots. If you were to magnify that, you don't need to. You can see it. But you're not connected, right? We're not, it's going to do that by mistake. We're trying to correct what we look at for the most part.
Finally, we're spraying our control coat on our panel. The control coat has more overlapping so that it can cover everything and it doesn't have as much blotching.